Hi, my name is Beverly. It is 7/6/2017. Quick dream. I had this dream when I woke up yesterday, and I was going through the doors to the entrance of this really big medical complex. And I was singing, Jesus is the only way. And there was a man that was there, and he worked there. And at first, he asked if he was using my phone to help some old people, patients that were there at that place. And all the old people were unsteady and old. And they seemed to be the majority of the patients in that big hospital complex. And they, older people can sort of start to shuffle when they walk, like they don't pick their feet all the way up because they're unsteady on their feet. So he gave me back my phone because he didn't want me to be troubled with that. And he was telling someone, I believe he was telling a customer, one of the patients, he was saying that big gigantic hospital was a satanic organization. There's something else I wrote there that I absolutely cannot read. So there's one more little sentence that's missing from this, but and it's funny. I was talking to a friend of mine today, and she was just asking my opinion about, certain things, surgeries, birth control, all that kind of stuff. And I don't try to tell anybody anything that I believe in or that I do for myself unless it comes from the Lord. So this is just me. When I don't feel well, I pray. The last thing I want to do is go to the doctor. Jesus is a doctor. He's the great physician. He said the well don't have need of a doctor. The sick have need of a physician. And he went all over Galilee and all over all Judea, healing all their sicknesses and all their diseases. The whole Bible is full of healing miracles and people being raised from the dead and people having limbs grown back and eyes that have been blind from birth, deaf ears open, people who never spoke speaking, you name it. So if that's the God that we serve, then why can't we ask him to heal us? Why won't he heal us? And if you think about it, up until about 100 years ago, most people didn't have access to a doctor like that. Certainly not to a hospital. And now even our dogs have hospitals. People spend thousands of dollars having surgery for their animals, their dogs, their family pets. And there were people who lived their whole life and never spent as much money on a doctor as people spend getting shots or having their dog spayed or neutered. And how did those people live and get to be, 80 and 90 and 100 years old? We have to think about that. They had faith, and they had a doctor. They had Jesus. They had prayer. They had faith. Now, if you don't have faith, I don't know what to tell you. Because if you don't get the mark of the beast, you're not going to have access to a doctor. So you might as well start calling on the Lord for your aches and pains now. Me personally, I don't want thousands and thousands of dollars worth of bills being mailed to me and people calling me on my phone harassing me because I had a bad headache and went to the ER. And then all of a sudden, you owe them $3,000-4,000 depending on what tests and things they run on you. And all of a sudden, you got something that could take you a year or never pay off. And then I've heard people say, well, when it comes to your life, you don't take chances. So what? It's just a bill. If you can't pay it, don't pay it. I talked to a Christian recently who said something like that, and I was like, I had a challenger, like, you say you're a Christian. Haven't you read your Bible? Jesus a healer? And then we got to talking because she was an older lady, and then she was like, yeah, I remember the older people, they never went to the doctor. There wasn't a doctor. They lived in the country. She said she was from Mississippi. And, they were born in the house. Midwife would come. And the midwife was not like what a midwife is now. A midwife has like advanced degrees and been to school and owes banks a whole lot of money behind her degree. So that wasn't the case with those midwives back then. So, they had their babies and that was it. There wasn't going to the pediatrician 2 or 3 days later. So it was, it was a different life back then. But different life, but same God. And I have chosen to take care of my body in terms of what I put into my body, food, because I think the statistic is now something like 80% of all the dollars that are spent on healthcare are spent on lifestyle-related diseases. In other words, people not taking care of themselves. Stuff they don't have to have: high blood pressure, heart disease, and sugar diabetes, and stuff like that. And even many forms of cancer are also related to lifestyle and poor immune systems. So just not giving your body what it needs. There are many people, I know people that don't touch vegetables, don't ever eat them. That they don't ever touch a vegetable. So, if you don't give your body the raw materials that it needs to enact the systems that God put in place for our body's defenses, it can't heal itself the way it was designed to. So you have to take care of your body. They didn't eat the food that we eat. They never heard of the food that we eat. They had a soda pop very, very rarely. And that was also a recent thing where people had access to this type of food. And now it's all that many people eat. So many of them never went to the doctor. Never. There were people in my family that never went to a doctor. And they died when they were old. And they just fell asleep and didn't wake up. And that's how they died. So they trusted in God. All this depending on doctors and worshiping doctors and all this hero worship, and this is all new. All this stuff, it was not so in times past. Now people feel like long as they can dial 911, that's their safety. But I want to be able to call Jesus. I also had a dream one time where there was a surgery going on, and I was watching it, and I knew that these doctors were very, very, very arrogant, that they really thought so much of themselves, and they were very cavalier about the way they had cut this person open, and they just they were just like butchers. They were just like butchers, and they didn't even think of this person as a human being, just like desecrating their body. And, I don't believe that's God's will for us. He's a healer. Not only did he, don't let that be lost on you, that when he came and offered salvation to man, he was also healing all of our sicknesses and all of our diseases. And don't forget that when the children of Israel wandered 40 years in the wilderness, no one was sick among them. And don't forget that in Deuteronomy chapter 28, when God gives us the promises of living a righteous life, one of them is that we'll be free from sickness. So some put their faith in doctors. I put my faith in Jesus. Now the Bible says, I want to read one scripture and I'm going to get off here. Okay, so this is Psalms chapter 20, verse 7. Some trust in chariots and some in horses, but we will remember the name of the Lord our God. That's where I choose to put my trust. I would rather you see me fall out. I'd rather you pray for me than call 911. If it's my time to go, it's my time to go. We're not going to live here forever by selling ourselves into slavery over health care. Obama's foothold in this country, and I believe the final brick that he had to put in place to make sure that, the hook was firmly in the mouth of the fish was Obamacare. That's why I can tell you without any hesitation and incontrovertibly that Donald Trump will not repeal Obamacare. It will not happen. Obamacare is not going anywhere. There will be universal health care. And my brother, Jonathan Kay, also had a prophecy that everybody would need Obamacare. It's disgusting what's happened to health care. And if you think you're going in there getting good care from a place that has not been set up with its primary objective to take care of people or to heal people, but its primary objective is to sell people health care, there's profit And whenever profit becomes the number one motive in any business, you're on your way to a disaster. You're on your way to a disaster. If you ran your home with making money involved, your children would be in trouble. That's not how we run our homes. We run our homes doing what's best for the people that we love that are inside our homes. And we let money take a back seat. But healthcare is not so. If they really want to care for your health, then instead of spending billions and billions and billions of dollars on pills, why don't they spend billions and billions and billions of dollars on reforming the society so that people stop destroying their health? Invest in vegetables, invest in gardens, give people incentives to do that. Now, I'm not saying the government should try and solve any problem by taking our tax dollars. I'm just saying if they cared about that, that would be much wiser than, I used this analogy earlier today, the way healthcare is run now. It's like if you're a parent and you're this doctor, you're this guardian of people's health, and people put all their trust in you, and people are willing to go broke. People stay at jobs they hate because they have benefits, because they have healthcare benefits. If someone gets cancer, they're broke. You got nothing. No one could pay. The average American absolutely cannot pay out of pocket for the treatments that they offer people for cancer. Anyway, their approach to healthcare now is as if you were a mother and you're supposed to be caring for your children. It would be like you standing at the bottom of a cliff while your child plays up top on the edge of the cliff with no rails, and your way of taking care of her is standing down there waiting to catch her when she falls. Instead of going up there and keeping her away from the cliff. There, like I said, 80% of what ails America is totally and completely preventable. And it's all about, what people are cramming in their mouths. All the non-food things that we eat. And the lack of actual true food to be eaten. Anyway, that's my take on healthcare. Care for your health. Care for your health. Go walking. Take a nice brisk walk every day or two. Take time. Go to the grocery store. Stay out of the middle of the aisles. Give up sugar. Do research, into the vitamins and nutrients that the body needs. I don't believe you need to be eating a lot of, protein shakes and protein bars and vitamin supplements. All those things are contained in abundance in the foods that we're supposed to eat. If you look at where God originally put Adam and Eve, he put them inside of a garden and told them that all the herbs of the field would be food for them. So fruits, and they could eat from all the trees fruit. And so those are the things that contain the life that we need to eat and the nutrients that we need to eat. Not Cheetos and bright yellow orange cheese puffs and whatever kind of other crazy stuff, Twinkies. There's no nutrients in it. And all the defense systems of the body need those nutrients in order to function. It's like having a police force with no guns. They're not going to be able to protect anybody. I'm not a vegetarian. I do not believe in vegetarianism. I do not believe in veganism. Veganism is a religion. I'm going to make a video about that. Those people are, down the line, in the long run, very unhealthy. So, God bless.